Hello YouTube, I'm going to review One Piece chapter 1717 entitled Dressrossa's Forgotten, in which we see Don Chinchou blubbering like a baby for something that Garp did to him, and he knows Dark King Rayleigh, Goldie Rogers, first mate of the Rogers back in the day. And we also find out Don Chinchou's epaulet, which is Auga, Don Chinchou the Auga. And Auga means drill. Considering last week he mentioned Garp stopping him from getting the treasure, I like to think that Don Chinchou was like another crew that made it to Raftel, or was actually on Roger's crew at the time and was threatening to split from him, causing a mutiny, using his big drill to drill under where Roger buried One Piece and getting it, but then Garp stopped him and Roger thanked him for that and what have you. But also we learn a lot more interesting things. Apparently toys and humans on Dressrossa are supposed to be in bed by 12 midnight, otherwise something bad might happen, and that toys and humans are not meant to interact. Especially sad when there's this dog thing called Milo with a little hat on, and he sees his son wanting to play with him, but the dog tries to tell his son that he's his dad, but they don't remember. And you see all these toys who remember themselves as being human being put into like an incinerator where they all burn and die because they're defective, because they remember their lives as before. But more importantly, it is also said that toys began arriving on Dressrossa about 10 years ago when Doflamingo came into contact with this user of a devil fruit who can turn them into toys. Now I'm thinking, originally Doflamingo tried to turn Dressrossa into One Piece's version of Disneyland, the happiest place on earth, but he sort of got bored with it. So he decided not to do that anymore. And moreover, I think the toy devil user is Senor Pink, the fat chubby guy on Doflamingo's crew that likes to suck a pacifier, in keeping with the childish theme of toys. And also, we see Law losing the fight with Fujitora and Doflamingo, and that all the dwarves have been kidnapped to work in the factory where Sad is and to create artificial devil fruits, and also that people keep forgetting things. And I like to think that given the dwarves' gullible and forgetful nature, what happens if the workers in the factory that are dwarves are hooked up to some kind of force field machine that generates a forgetful dome around the island, which makes all the islanders forget that their parents were toys, their loved ones were toys, so they use the dwarves' forgetfulness in their bodies to create this dome-like effect. And also we see Vice Admiral Bastille waiting outside the Colosseum where the factory is for his assistant, I think, Vice Admiral Maynard, that got slaughtered by Bartolomeo a few chapters ago. And I think maybe Bastille will enter the ring as like another competitor, or pretend to be part of Catman / Maynard's old crew, so then all like the Marines will enter the Colosseum, creating this big revolution type thing that's going on, and it'll be just mess everywhere. Mess. And also, another thing that interests me is on the cover page. You see a giant mechanical version of Chopper and all the Straw Hat crew being on the mechanical version of Chopper. And it's a lot like Frankie's mechanical robot fighting machine. I think that the Straw Hats might be able to get like their own fighting machines with like for Luffy, for example, will be a giant straw-hatted robot. For Sanji, it might be a giant cigarette. For Nami, it might be a robot in the shape of a $sign or something. And they might have giant fighting robots like in Pacific Rim, where they go to the end of this new towards like the middle part of the new world, and they use their giant robots, and they'll be like and another interesting thing about this chapter is my Vice Admiral Bastille, the giant guy, aka the Shark Cutter, said that Vice Admiral Maynard is a junior. So what if the Marine ranks have expanded to form junior Vice Admirals, junior Admirals, junior Commanders, and whatnot? And we've got to wait 2 weeks for what's going to happen next. So be sure to leave your comments below.